What if I told you that Jasmy is about to repeat the exact same pattern that delivered a 202% rally just months ago? While Bitcoin crashes and altcoins bleed, one cryptocurrency is setting up for what could be the most predictable pump of 2025. I'm talking about Jasmycoin, and the fractal pattern forming right now is absolutely insane. But here's the thing, this window won't stay open forever. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why Jasmy could be your ticket to massive gains, or why it might crash even harder. Let's dive in. Alright, crypto fam, let's talk about what's happening in the markets right now because it's brutal. We're witnessing one of the sharpest corrections we've seen in months, and it all started with Ethereum getting absolutely demolished. ETH just got rejected hard from that $3,940 resistance level, a level I've been warning you about for weeks. We're talking about a knife-edge drop to $3,425, which is a daily bloodbath that sent shockwaves through every single altcoin in the market. And when Ethereum sneezes, altcoins catch pneumonia. We're seeing double-digit red across the board, Chainlink down 15%, Polygon bleeding 12%, and don't even get me started on the smaller cap altcoins getting absolutely wrecked. Now Jasmycoin, ticker Jasmy for those just joining the party, hasn't escaped this carnage. We're looking at an 18% weekly drop that completely erased what looked like a promising monthly run. Just last week, Jasmy was sitting pretty with solid monthly gains, and now, those gains have been cut down to a measly 11%. But here's where it gets interesting and why you need to pay attention to every word I'm about to say, because while everyone else is panicking, I've been doing what I always do, diving deep into the charts, analyzing patterns, and looking for opportunities that others are missing. And what I discovered about Jasmy's current price action literally made me do a double take. See, I've been tracking Jasmy since its early days, and I'm seeing something that's giving me serious deja vu. The price action we're witnessing right now isn't random. It's not just another altcoin getting crushed in a market-wide sell-off. This is a fractal pattern. And if you don't know what that means, stick with me because this could change everything for your portfolio. A fractal in trading is when price action repeats similar patterns across different time periods. It's like market DNA, the same genetic code showing up again and again. And the smart money, they know how to read these patterns like a roadmap to profits. Now let me take you back to October 2024 because that's where this story really begins. Jasmy had been stuck in a brutal downtrend for months. I'm talking about a downtrend that crushed dreams and liquidated leverage positions left and right. But then something beautiful happened. Jasmy broke out of that downtrend like a caged animal finally tasting freedom. It didn't just break out. It demolished that resistance and reclaimed both its 50-day and 200-day moving averages in one swift move. But here's the thing about crypto markets. They don't move in straight lines. After that initial breakout, Jasmy did what every healthy bull run does. It pulled back to test the strength of its newfound support. And where did it find that support? At the exact confluence of the 50-day moving average and the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. This wasn't just any support level. This was a fortress, a launch pad, a springboard to what became one of the most explosive rallies in Jasmy's history. From that precise support level, Jasmy launched into a 202% rally that took it straight to the ascending resistance trendline. We're talking about gains that turned $1,000 into $3,020. That's retirement-changing money if you position correctly. But here's what's absolutely mind-blowing about what's happening right now. Fast forward to today, and I'm seeing the exact same pattern setting up again. I'm not talking about similar. I'm talking about identical fractal geometry that's so precise it's almost scary. Let me break this down for you step by step because the implications are massive. First, Jasmy has once again broken above a major downtrend. Check. Second, it reclaimed both the 50-day and 200-day moving averages just like it did in October. Double check. Third, we're now seeing the same sharp correction that's bringing price back to test that critical confluence zone. Triple check. And here's the kicker. Jasmy is currently testing the exact same support levels that launched that 202% rally. We're talking about the 50-day moving average converging with the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level. This isn't coincidence. This is mathematical precision. This is the market showing its hand to anyone smart enough to recognize the pattern. Let's talk numbers, because numbers don't lie. The 50-day moving average is currently acting as dynamic support, and we're seeing buying pressure emerge right at these levels. Volume is starting to pick up on the bounce attempts, which tells me institutional money is paying attention. The 0.618 Fibonacci retracement, often called the golden ratio in trading, has historically been Jasmy's strongest support level during corrections. It's held 3 times in the past 6 months, and each time it held, we saw significant upward moves. Now, if this fractal pattern plays out exactly like it did before, we're looking at a potential move that could take Jasmy above the 8 cents level. That's the ascending resistance trend line that capped the previous rally, and breaking above it would signal a completely new phase of the bull market for Jasmy. But let's be conservative. Even a partial repeat of the October pattern would target the 5 cents to 6 cents range, which represents 150% to 200% upside from current levels. However, and this is crucial, this entire thesis hinges on one critical level, the 200-day moving average at $0.0171. This is our line in the sand. Jasmy must reclaim and hold above this level to validate the fractal pattern. If it fails to hold above the 200-day MA, the pattern breaks down, and we could see deeper losses toward the $0.012 support zone. Now, let's zoom out and talk about why this pattern matters in the context of the broader crypto market cycle. We're currently in what I call the altcoin selection phase of the bull market. Bitcoin has already made its move to 6-figure territory. Ethereum is battling key resistance levels. But altcoins, this is where the real alpha lives during bull markets. And Jasmy, with its Internet of Things narrative and Japanese regulatory clarity, is positioning itself as a prime beneficiary. The timing of this fractal setup couldn't be better. We're seeing institutional adoption accelerating, regulatory clarity improving, and infrastructure development reaching new heights. Jasmy's tokenomics and real-world utility in the IoT space make it a compelling play for the next phase of crypto adoption. But here's what most traders miss. The best opportunities often come disguised as risk. While everyone else is panicking about the correction, smart money is accumulating at these exact support levels. They're using the fear to build positions before the next leg up. Let me give you some additional technical confluences that strengthen this fractal setup. The RSI is showing a bullish divergence at these support levels, indicating that selling pressure is exhausting. The MACD is approaching a potential bullish crossover, which historically has been a reliable signal for Jasmy trend reversals. We're also seeing the Bollinger Bands compress, which often precedes explosive moves in either direction. The fact that this compression is happening right at our key support confluence makes it even more significant. Volume profile analysis shows that the $0.017 to $0.019 zone has the highest volume concentration over the past 3 months, indicating this is where institutions and whales have been accumulating. This adds another layer of confluence to our support thesis. So here's what I'm watching for, and what you should be tracking if you're considering a position in Jasmy. First, we need to see a decisive bounce from this $0.017 support level with increased volume. That would be the first confirmation that the fractal is activating. Second, we need a daily close above the 200-day moving average at $0.0171. This would validate the pattern and open the door to higher targets. Third, breaking above the previous swing high around $0.024 would confirm that the correction is over and the next leg up has begun. But remember, crypto is volatile, patterns can fail, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Always use proper position sizing and risk management. The fractal pattern setting up in Jasmy right now represents one of the most compelling risk-reward opportunities I've seen in the altcoin space. The historical precedent is clear, the technical confluences are aligning, and the timing couldn't be better. Whether this plays out exactly like October's 202% rally remains to be seen, but the setup is undeniably there. And in crypto, sometimes the most obvious patterns are the ones that work the best. What do you think? Are you seeing the same fractal pattern I'm tracking? Drop your analysis in the comments below, and don't forget to smash that like button if this breakdown helped you spot an opportunity you might have missed. And if you want more deep dive technical analysis like this, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because these setups don't wait for anyone. This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and should not be considered financial advice. Cryptocurrency investments are highly volatile and risky. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The fractal patterns and technical analysis discussed are speculative and may not materialize as projected. Always conduct your own research and consult with qualified financial advisors before making investment decisions. Never invest more than you can afford to lose, and be aware that you could lose your entire investment.